All right, it's recording. It is currently 11:35 a.m. p.m., sorry. It's February 5th, 2026. And yeah, I'm as you can see back in my fucking house from the dorm for the weekend. Um I'm in a fucking bathrobe reading a book like a fucking loser. Um But yeah, I just kind of wanted to make a quick little commentary video on some of the shit in this book that I like. The book is Nineveh by Henrietta Rose-Innes. Innes? I don't know. It's a good book. It's I'm having to read it for my literary theory and criticism class, or it might just be called literary theory. I don't fucking know, but yeah, I signed up for an English minor because fuck it, why not? And I mean there were more reasons than that. It was like also financial aid and also you get the idea. But you know, I signed up for shit, and this is the first class that I've done in person. I'm taking another class, Folklore of the American South, and that's a pretty fun one. It's on the computer though. It's only like you post one discussion post to like read a thing and then reply to three passages you find interesting is every assignment. So it's not, it's fun, but it's an online class, and it's also an online class that's 3 credit hours, but it only takes like 45 minutes a week. So it's, I mean, you know how it is if you're in like college environment and you've seen that type of shit. So, but the literary theory and criticism class, that one is it's like it hits a lot harder in person because because it's so fun getting to do shit in person for English. It's so peak. If you aren't if you're like into English shit at all, into reading at all, go do shit in person with other people. It's so good. It's so peak. And the class size is small. It's like 8 or 9 people, so we just sit in a fucking circle and talk about the book for most of the class. And if we don't talk about the book, we talk about like whatever reading or whatever like shit the teacher has on a slide for us that day. And it's fun. I like small class sizes like that. And I was kind of worried going into it that I wouldn't like the English shit, but I'm fucking loving it, man. And one thing I kind of wanted to talk about in this video is, or the whole reason I started recording is I hit a point in the book, in chapter 11, I think, chapter 12, somewhere in there, page 136, 6 or 7, yeah, 136 and 137, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. Um, it's this so I'm not gonna like read quotes and shit because that's loser shit. But throughout the whole book, and the main thing that they're kind of wanting us to focus on in class is this idea of the main character Katya or Katya. I don't know. I'm just gonna say Katya because it's fucking Walking Dead season 1 game. The fucking Duck's mom and Kenny's wife from that game. But you know, uh, main character Katja, she's like whole book is like finding her place in. She's living in like a shitty apartment. Then she gets put into like fucking like prime real estate, and she's kind of like picking, or she's kind of like seeing sides of the world. Like she's doing extreme blue collar work of being a fucking exterminator, and she's getting to like live like fucking royalty. I mean, not really, but she's getting to like kind of see the veneer of it, and in like staying in nice ass houses for a little while. And it's an interesting plot line, but one major point that's like also in here is her dad is like also an exterminator. She doesn't kill the bugs. She just like catches them and throws them in the woods or some shit. And we actually like joked about it in class because it was like at one point she mentions like just fucking chucking a fish out of the car window into a river. And I pictured like what's the movie with fucking Adam Driver where he's got like the epileptic sister and she pokes her head out the window and gets fucking decapitated by a stop sign. I pictured that shit, but with like a fucking salmon the size of a car, and it fucking, and it's like the Hunter Biden post where it's like, yeah, he was doing 170 down I-95 while also high on crack, and it's like, it's so fucking funny, and I don't. It's so funny that Hunter Biden became like he was the guy the right wing pointed to as like this guy when Biden was president, and I think it's so fucking funny that like honestly Hunter Biden, that lifestyle is kind of tough. Like, yeah, my dad's the president. I do crack and drive 200 miles an hour every day. Holy shit, that is awesome. Oh my god, that's so fucking cool. Not. I mean, it's fucked up, but like, I don't think he deserves prison. I mean, he needs fucking rehab. But yeah. Anyways, the book, it's uh, like, but the whole point of it is she doesn't like intentionally kill the animal. She effectively just does like catch and release programs, and her dad is like the stereotypical fucking kill 'em all 5 trillion dead cops Tiananmen Square 1989. You know the drill, and it's interesting seeing like he shows back up in the story, and the fancy real estate shit that Katya I don't fucking know is staying at is like he was hired to get out bugs before her, and he apparently like, or not even apparently, he just kind of confirmed it. He like stripped the copper out of the walls and planted eggs so they would hire him back, and it's so fucking funny. But yeah, good shit. And we get to a point in the book though where it's kind of going downhill, like her life is going downhill. And she's Katja gets home one day from like the fucking the fancy house factory, and she sees that her nephew, who like helps her run the business, is sitting like in her house, and uh he's brought like his girlfriend over, and they like redecorated while she was gone, and she freaks the fuck out. She like starts tweaking out, fucking throws like a picture frame hard enough that it's not clear if she cuts herself or if she cuts one of the kids, and it's a fucking ultimate crash out, and it's awesome. And we had like a whole thing in class about like, is it valid to do this? And I just stuck with group opinion because I didn't actually read the chapters before class because I'm a lazy fuck, and I read them tonight. But and I have 4 more chapters to read. Fuck. But yeah, I was supposed to read chapters 6 through 10 for Thursday, but in my defense, had to read fucking chapters 3 through 6, something like that, for class Tuesday, and then had a 2-day turnaround to read 4 more chapters, and also had a shitty time with family shit. So I was clocked out. I still am clocked out. I was fucking sitting in the bed staring at the ceiling for 5 hours thinking about life type shit. And but yeah, I mean, also that's one thing I fucking love about English classes is like class discussions shit. It is about the books, but it's also, you're kind of just talking about life and shit and just kind of whatever, and it's so peak. I love that shit, dude. And it's money if you ever get a chance to like just do that type of shit, go for it. It's so much fun. But yeah, like in chapters 6 through 10, she's like Katja's slowly like getting more fucked up by the job, kind of, she's like effectively just starting to tweak out a little bit, and she gets home, and uh fucking nephew boy Toby and I can't even remember the fucking girl's name, but his girlfriend, she has a weird fucking name. Let me find it. It's like fucking peculiar. Where is his name? What is his name? What is his name? Tasneem. That's her name. Tasneem? Taneem? I don't know. Weird fucking name. But also the book was written by a lady from South Africa and it's set in Cape Town, so like, maybe I don't know. It's probably just a regional name, and sorry if I'm racist for saying Nazmeem. Dude, it's the fucking white guy who says, "Your name's Juan. Get out of my country." But yeah, fucked up. But lol. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so as the plot's going on, Katja's dad shows up again, and they're hanging out in a bar. They're just kind of talking about life and shit. And the way he's been described up to this point is really nice, and I really like it. I I I I like being a fucking internet loser who doesn't have much of a background in like real literary shit, like classics and that type of shit, because every time I read some shit, I'm like, whoa, this is just like an Xbox Live, you know? Because all the shit about her dad, Len, it really reminds me of Eulogy for a Gambler from Anthony Bruno, Slimewire from The Yard. I really like it. And he wrote a really beautiful piece about his dad, and it really fucking got to me. And it was one of the big reasons I actually got it more back into English shit, was just reading something so beautiful from a YouTuber or creator or whatever you want to fucking call it, who really inspired, like, I don't know, me's personality and shit. I don't know, you get the idea. Like, seeing that shit really got to me, and it kind of helped me, or kind of inspired me, I think is a good way to put it. And I get that it's kind of fickle retard shit to be like, oh yeah, a fucking YouTuber inspired me to take a life-changing thing and spend money on a college course. And it's funny, but you get the idea. um but what all was I gonna fucking talk about? Yeah, the whole way that Len is described is just kind of like fucking old opportunistic bastard who's just going door to door, doing odd jobs, doing whatever the fuck he can. He's stripping copper pipe out of walls. He's like spending weeks in hotels. He's just doing all kinds of fucking sleazy shit. And even though people like that, like, they're probably not good to be around. You're probably gonna fucking lose money if you hang out with people like that. There's still, I don't know, there's something about that type of just fucking scumbag that I just love as a person. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's some shit about like people that raised me. I don't know. Maybe it's some shit in my brain that's like fucking, what's it called? Like harmful attraction or whatever, where it's like a little white boy with mommy issues type shit, Like people like that. I don't know what the term is, but oh god, it's just the way Len is described before he appears is really cool. And even though he's described in kind of like, I mean, some of the shit he does is awful. He burns he ashes his fucking cigarettes on his kids to get ticks off of them, and it is fucked up shit, man. But ugh, I don't know, the way Len acted, he reminded me of like a slightly shittier version of my dad, and I don't know, I like that. But in chapter 10, chapter 10? Yeah, chapter 10. Len shows back up though, and him and Katja are just sitting in a bar getting a little bit drunk together, and they're just talking shit over, having a good one, and it's a fun story. I like it. But they're just kind of talking it over. She's still kind of put on edge by the guy. He's like doing bits and being funny, but still obviously like kind of fucked up as a person, and it's a good scene. But after that, in chapter 11, or in hang on, I think I might be getting the timeline fucked up. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I think so. Then where the fuck? Okay, yeah, the shit with her dad was in chapter 9. The shit with where she comes back home and her house is fucked up is in chapter 10. Yeah. But it's like I don't know, it's a fun plot line, and the way Len acts is he's a fucking scumbag, but it's and he's also like a dick, but it's just fucking lovable to watch when you're not actually having to deal with that type of person in real life. But the thing that really got to me is I've started reading chapter 11 now because my assignment for next Tuesday is to read chapters 11 through 14. And I mean, I did 6 through 10 in like an hour and a half, so I'll get through this and probably like once I finish recording, I'll just go back to reading and finish it off tonight. Because after chapter 14, there's only 15 and 16 left, and both of those look pretty short. There's only like 20 pages after chapter 14, so yeah, I mean, I'll probably have this shit done tomorrow. Oh wait, no, today's Thursday, man. Uh, but yeah, in chapter 11, uh, there you go. Like after Katja's fucking screaming at the kid for like moving her shit in the room, and after she's had like her fucking tweak out moment, the next day she drives over to her sister's house, Toby's mother. She drives over there and is like, hey, let me apologize. And you know, I mean, she's trying to do the right thing, but there's this really like fucking gripping moment that I like where let me find it. It is where is it? Yeah, here it is on page 130, like 4 and 5, just generally like the 130s. There's uh she goes over like this whole thing where the sister's name is Alma, by the way, Katja's sister. And there's this really interesting thing right at the end of page 134 and into the first, like, honestly, all of 135 is. I'll just read it out for you. From. Let's just start. Yeah, here we go. That'd be a first. How about apologizing to him for everything else while you're at it? All this work you make him do. You're the one sending him around all the time. Not yet that work, your work. He's covered in bites, my god. Her dry voice cracks, is for a moment a girl's voice, high, almost singing with distress. And I think about Mom, Alma. This life, it did her in. Katja's heart lurches in the cold pause that follows. She repeats miserably, Alma. No, I'm not getting upset. I won't get upset. No. She breathes, deliberate in and out, and when she looks again, her voice is colorless. Do this for me, Katja. Look at your hands. And this is the scene that really fucking gets to me, is like this few lines right in here. Despite herself, she looks down. Her hands are nicked and scuffed, scabbed and bitten. That's what you've given yourself with this life. Think about that. And she knows what Alma means. Her dad's hands that she's looking at, and she's silenced. It's another unanswerable thing. And yeah, I mean that's kind of. Then they cut to like a kind of a whatever scene of like them in the background, like the kids are in the backyard fucking playing in a sandbox, but like that scene is in the back of your head that whole fucking time. And it's really weird watching it turn into a generational trauma narrative type thing. And you know, it's whatever. I like generational trauma as a theme. It's cool, but I don't think it should be like. It's become a really popular theme in the last like 15, 20ish years to say like, oh, my parents were like this, you know. That type of theme has started to kind of be a more common thing in media, and I don't think I like that because or I think it's good, but I think it should be used more sparingly just because a lot of people portray it as like a normal thing that like, oh yeah, my dad was mean, so now I fucking scream in the same way he did. I don't like the idea of that being treated as a normal thing that happens. It can be, but like, you know, I don't think it should be treated as kind of a scapegoat for people's actions in the way a lot of media treats it. But this is interesting though, because it's not generational trauma. It's more of like generational, not poverty, but like the shit that comes with poverty, where like you meet someone who's poor enough and you know they've done some shit to keep their family fed. And it it reads like that, where they did some fuck shit, and it's just it's an interesting scene. And I think the reason it gets to me is it really reminded me of my family, because my dad, he, oh my god, man, he had like the way she mentions, like, oh yeah, my life beat me down, or she's like looking at her hands that are covered in scars and shit, and she's like, oh, life has beat me down. It's, I get it, because I mean, the way that man fucking lived before, like before he got older and retired and shit. Oh my god, he lived like a fucking party animal, constantly busting his ass, constantly doing cocaine. That one's constantly like working fucking crazy hours and like hard manual labor jobs. It's it's weird, and I don't know, seeing it's weird seeing like the way the book is kind of a back and forth with Katja, of being like, do I want to escape this lifestyle, or do I want to do this, or do I want to do that? And it I relate to it a lot because my dad and like really my whole family when I was growing up were not very educated people. Like the most highly educated person in my family is probably my grandmother, and she got an associate's degree in nursing. And I mean, she had like a fucking excellent career in it, but I mean, it. What I'm trying to say is that my family is a lot of fucking blue collar people, and my oldest brother, he does like fucking white collar programming shit and whatever. But it's just fuck. It is seeing the way that like they give you this dichotomy of like, which do you want to be, which path do you want to go down? Like, do you want to work with your hands and have your body fucking turn into muck by the time you're 20, or do you want to kind of, they haven't really elaborated on the other side too much. It's basically just like live in a nice house, like they haven't elaborated on the other side of that kind of debate too much. But they kind of show it with Alma, where she's like, Katja and Alma are like walking through the house to go out and talk to the kids and apologize, and like Katja's looking around and it's like a beautiful home, and there's like, it's a full family unit that love each other and shit, and it's wild. But I don't know, it's I think the way they've put together like that dichotomy has affected me, because because of the way I was raised in, like, how do I put it? I was raised in a family that was very stereotypical, Southern conservative, fucking blue collar worker. You gonna grow up and go be a plumber. You gonna make a lot of money in the trades. That type of bullshit was fucking common. And I've grown up and went to college, which is kind of not really its own thing. I mean, you can get a degree and still have manual labor job, but specifically, I'm gunning for a degree in music with a minor in English, which is I think might be the single furthest you can get away from working with your hands. Like I think we might have found like we found fucking opposite of manual. We found fucking automatic labor. Um, But like it's just the way that that scene goes where it's like look at what this life is doing to you and look at your options. It gets me because I wasn't, I'm not like fucking a gimp, like horrifically crippled or anything, but I have my fair share of like shit that happened to me when I was a kid that like in retrospect is like, oh, that probably could have killed me, and 90% of it is like hanging out with my dad while he's doing electrical work, and me being a stupid little shit does something and nearly kills myself or nearly kills somebody else. And it also kind of tied back into the shit that earlier with Len, in like some of the earlier chapters, Katja mentions that like as she would her and Alma would like stay with their dad and help him out with like odd jobs when they were kids, and he would be doing like random shit and they'd get injured all the time. And that really fucking got to me because and the amount of times that like I'll give the most or the example that I remember the best when I was probably 8 or 9, something like that. I remember me and my dad were helping our neighbors move after they got evicted, and like we went out to their new place, and I can't remember. I think it was like a riding lawnmower trailer or some shit like that. One of the metal trailers that's like flat and then has like the little bed that you flip down, and I didn't know how those worked. I thought they turned open like a door because I was a stupid fucking kid. And all kids are stupid, but like I was a dumb motherfucker. Oh, and I like flipped the door open and it fucking crushed my foot. And now my right toe is like my right big toe goes like this. It goes it like curves out. It curves like if all my toes are like this is flat, my big toe goes like I don't know. It's weird. I can't really. I'm not showing feet for free, and also I'm only wearing a bathrobe. So if I pull my feet up, there's like a 50-50. You see my nuts, and we ain't ready for that. We ain't ready for that. Y'all ain't ready for this. But yeah. But like I mean, and I have a god, I probably have like dozens of fucking things like that. Like I don't know if it shows up on camera. It might in the light, but like right in here there's like a fucking dent in my forehead where I like ran into a dresser as a kid while my dad was watching me, and I mean it's not good to get hurt, but it's like it is fond memories honestly of just wild shit that happened when with my dad when I was a kid. And to see a book take like or just like evoke such a weird specific part of my upbringing, it kind of it fucking got me off guard, I'm not gonna lie. And it's not like a I mean it's an emotional moment for the character of like look what this life has brought you. It's an emotional moment, but it's not it hit me in a different way than I think Henrietta Rose-Innes intended. And it because I like seeing I don't know. I feel like it kind of presents a dilemma of like, oh wait, I'm finna fart. Let's see if it'll pop up on the camera. I really hope that was audible. It would have been so fucking funny to hear that. Oh god, it fucking stank. But it was just like seeing the way that it presents that dichotomy of like blue collar worker who is just like a little bit of a fucking sleazy dickhead, but is also still like kind of a lovable fucker. And then the other side of like white collar fucking shiny home, brand new shit, brand new that. And I don't know. Seeing that kind of presented in a book is it just gets to me. But and and I think part I think another reason it hit me so heavily is in my own personal life. I've for the last honestly like couple years I've been struggling with the decision to be in music, to be in liberal arts, to not just go be a fucking pipe welder and die at 35 the way God intended. But like, don't get me wrong, I love what I do, but it's just like the arts, like the liberal arts and performing arts especially, like really especially, but any really liberal art type of thing, any field where you're not working with your hands, the environment is just really fucked up and toxic and weird. And it's not to say that like pipe welding jobs can't be toxic, but every time I've been around like people who worked in manual labor, people who've, done that type of shit their whole lives, they're just like, it's like Len in the book. Even though he's an abusive father and a fucking drunk piece of shit, he's still just kind of like a pleasure to be around. Where even though he's a fucking dickhead, every scene with him in it, he's cracking jokes, he's being a goat. And I I kind of see my life where, being a music major, I am surrounded by egotistical fucking idiots who think they're hot shit, who think they're going to be the next fucking, I don't even know who they want to be anymore. Fucking insert some performative artist who does fucking nothing for the world. It's just so much of my life I am like as a music major, so much of it I am just surrounded by people I fucking despise. And kind not seeing it hasn't been quite expressed in the book, or it kind of has actually, because Katja and Alma's relationship is kind of like rocky. They don't get on too well. They clearly love each other, but it's strained. And Len, even though it's almost like an inverse, where Alma has like objectively good intentions. She wants to help her sister. She wants to like be there for her and all that. And she kind of comes off as a bitch. And then we look at Len, who is just an abusive fuck, but he's so goddamn charismatic. And I feel like we kind of get that back and forth of it, where it's like, you can pick which world you go into, but neither one is going to be perfect. And I don't know, because the whole reason I went into music is because I love what I do. And I mean, pretty much anyone else who went into anything like music, arts, English, fucking anything really like that, they'll tell you they did this shit because they love it. And I feel like as I've went along through degree, it's just been like just dealing with worse and worse fucking people, man. And I don't know. And I don't have much to add to the book's commentary, I don't think, but I just seeing something kind of capture like a real life conflict I've had for a while into a like honestly pure luck, by the way, that this book set in written like 2011, I think it was released. And some woman 15 years ago in South Africa wrote a book that just so happened to like perfectly coincide with a real ethical dilemma I'm having in my personal life. And that's really cool. And I think that's part of why I've kind of had a better time with the English shit than the music shit, is just the people, because when you go into music, oh my god, it's a horrible fucking environment. And I'm not gonna lie to you all. I've been thinking about it, and I had like a genuine moment of realization of just like, of the hundreds, and I mean hundreds, like the college band that I'm in is about 300 people, and of those 300, any given time I'm acquainted with probably 150, really really know about 100, and am like actual friends or close with about 50 of them. And I mean that's cycled fucking 3 years now. Like, classes graduating, classes coming in, classes graduating, classes coming in. So I've gotten to know probably well over a couple hundred people, and gotten to be like decently acquainted with like damn near 1,000 people, probably. Actually, that's exaggerated. Probably about 500 ish people that I've gotten to just kind of see come and go over 2 years, and get like a vague view of who they are, and then they're gone. And then a couple hundred that I get to like really see as people, you know? And I gotta tell you, of that group, there's like a solid third of them are just shitty people. Another solid third of them are just like different enough that you'll never really be able to connect. And another solid third of them are like, no, I'll kind of break it down more. I'll say of the couple hundred people I know, probably about 50 are chill. Probably about the smallest group is probably like, I don't fuck with you, but I don't hate you. And then there's like fucking half of them, honestly, are just dickheads. And it's I know that's a big part also of a career like this, where, oh, you know, you have to have connections, you have to know somebody to get in. Yeah, I mean, that's like half the battle, honestly, with like career shit in music, is just knowing people, knowing friends, knowing fucking connections, knowing, hey, we need a guy for this gig tonight. Do you want to do this? And you know, having to, or not having to, but like just based on like moral standards and shit, having to just look at fucking half of the people that could be your coworkers differently. Uh, you know, it's weird. And you know, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think about the employment side of it too much. I was more focused on just like, or the employment side of it, but not like these people will get me a job way, but in the, I'm gonna have to work with these people, you know? And it almost rings hollow, where if I got an orchestra job, like a real big orchestra job that paid 50 to 100 grand a year, which is, I think, average for an orchestra player. Some of the bigger ones pay a lot more, but and some of the smaller ones pay nothing at all. But, you know, real orchestra player, you're probably going to be making like 70 grand a year, something like that. And just the thought of like clocking in to something I love that's just been perverted by being constantly surrounded by shitty people to make art that I love. It's so fucking disheartening, and it's I feel like the book kind of woke that up in me for a bit, and I have to kind of get my point out there just so somebody else can hear what I'm thinking about and going through, and maybe agree. Probably won't, but that's okay. Um, uh, I'm gonna finish up the rest of this book tonight. No, I'm going to bed, honestly. I'm gonna finish up the rest of this chapter. I don't like using bookmarks and shit, so I just finish like a chapter at a time, so and remember the number. But my fucking, I have my legs crossed, and oh my god. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's fun. And I feel like the dynamic thing they presented, or the dilemma, sorry, thing they presented of which life do you pick. I feel like the way I came up in that blue collar life, and the way that I've been, you know, through college given a chance at the white collar upper crust life, or whatever the hell, you know, I feel like seeing that kind of put before me in a book is, I don't know, it does something, and I don't know what. Uh, I'll probably make more videos on this topic. Maybe not. I'll definitely make a video when I finish the book, just talking about it. So that'll be next Thursday. Yeah. It'll be next Tuesday night because uh no, I'll do it next Thursday night just so that way I can have like class commentary or like from the people in the English class just so you can hear what other people thought besides my fucking stupid ass. But yeah, that's all I got. Thank you for watching and yeah. Bye.